So this is a labor and delivery story time. I'm at work. I'm doing overnight. All right. So July 23rd. It was a Sunday. I didn't feel good. My stomach was hard. I woke up in the morning and I kind of knew that I was in labor. Just wasn't having a contraction or anything, but you can tell, like, I knew, like, it was going to happen. Like, my baby was going to be born before his due date. So I took it upon myself to speed up the process by taking some castor oil. So that night I went to my sister's house and I took some castor oil. She told me to do some little exercise and walking. So after I drank the castor oil, which by the way wasn't nasty because I hold my nose, but like if you burp and stuff like that, you get the aftertaste. So after I drank the castor oil, me and my nieces and nephew was like, baby mama, you know, getting all the little energy in, trying to get this baby to move, get these contractions to happen. Anywho, by 11 o'clock, I decided that it was time for me to go home. For some odd reason, I didn't feel like myself afterwards. So I sat in the living room in the dark, listening to the gospel song. And I waited on my fiance to come home, which I kind of scared him a little bit. So he was like, what are you doing up and stuff like that? And I'm like, you know, I just don't feel well, stuff. I was just waiting on you. He was like, okay, whatever. So we was eating spaghetti. Well, he was eating spaghetti. He tried to give me some, and I was like, no, I'm good. Like, you know, I'm good, but I still tried a little bit because I'm pregnant. So, you know, I'm going to want to eat something, but I didn't feel good, to be honest. So I went to sleep. I thought we went to sleep. He was watching YouTube channels like pranks and stuff like that. And I woke up around 2, and he was like, what's wrong? Because the way I woke up, and I'm like, you know, I don't feel too well. So he was like, okay, what do you want to do? And I was like, nothing. I put the pillows in between my legs, and I elevated my legs, I guess. I don't know. They were in between my legs. It was so high. My legs were wide open, basically. It just, you know, I had stuff that my legs were laying on. And after a while, I felt like I had to use the restroom. So I got up. I told him I was going to use the restroom. I was there for like 30 minutes. Nothing happened. While I was there, I noticed my baby wasn't moving. I brought it to his attention. I didn't alarm him and anything. I made it seem like it was nothing. And I was like, we should just drive the car. You know, as soon as we hit the railroad tracks, the baby's going to move. He did. We came home and boom, contraction started. It hit me by a shocker, so I called him for help, and then he got me out of the car. Mind you, we're in the middle of the night, like in a neighborhood, dark neighborhood, like, you know. And I told him to go walking with me. We did as much as walking we can, but after a while, I was like, yeah, we need to go back in this house. So the contractions started to get a little heavier. So I ended up suggesting going to the restroom, taking a warm shower, hoping that calms me down, you know, because I really wanted a natural birth. So if this happened, it should be like 3 by now. So we get to the room, and I'm like, I can't do the shower anymore. So I get in the room. He's trying to put clothes on me. I don't want clothes on me. I just fell on the floor. For some reason, the cold floor felt so good, so great, you know. And I didn't want to put no clothes on. My whole body was just aching. It was like horrible pain. I just felt sick. He was trying to make me go to the hospital by then, but I didn't want to because I had an appointment at 8 with my doctor, because we were supposed to have a consultation about inducing my labor Tuesday. You know, inducing me Tuesday. And I thought I could stick it out. I think by 4 or 5 o'clock, I couldn't stick it out, and we decided to go to Plantation Hospital. And while we was there, my legs was like everywhere in the car. Like, I couldn't wear a seatbelt, I couldn't sit. Like, I was in the car like you know. And then when we get to the hospital, I'm like completely like, I'm out of it. I'm in so much pain. I'm barely talking. I'm doing the key that we learned on, you know, YouTube and TVs that doesn't work. And then the thing about Plantation, they have metal detectors. I don't know if other hospitals have that, but Plantation does. And I was so mad at them because I'm in labor. Why do you guys have me trying to go through a metal detector while I'm in labor? Like, y'all could have just let me go through. They had to check my bed. They made me go through the metal detector, all in labor, and then go ask me, do I want a wheelchair? You should have asked me that in the beginning. I said no. I walked myself to triage by myself because I was so mad. And when I got the triage, they was trying to talk to me, but the lady was not getting much out of me. Then I was like, I gotta pee. That's what she got out of me. I gotta pee. That was like probably the clearest thing I said the whole time while I was having contraction. And then they got my fiance was there, and he knew everything, so they got all the information they needed for him, and they just put me in a room. It was like 95 minutes I was in a room. A nurse came in. She was real nice, like very nice. All the nurses there were so nice, like literally so nice. And I think her name was Claudia. I know I'm not supposed to, like, I'm a name drop because they need credit. Like, these nurses were nice. And it was one nurse, she checked me, and she thought I was like, you know, having the baby right then and there, because she happened to check me when I was having a contraction, and the baby was already sitting low. So to her, she thought I was already, you know, 10 centimeters. She called another nurse, which was, not saying her name right, Claudia or Claudia, one of them. She was like, oh no, she's 3 centimeters. I'm like, 3? Okay, so am I gonna go home with this pain? Because if I am, y'all need to give me some things right now through the IV to keep me up, and I come back the next day, because I was a first time mom, and I heard first time moms do go in labor for like, you know, a day or two. So I already knew like that it had, like, that was gonna happen. And she was like, no, you're gonna stay here. Like, they assured me that they had a woman here for like almost a day or two in labor, because they're not just gonna send you home. Like, if you're in active labor, they was like, you're gonna stay here, which was nice, because everything else I've seen on YouTube and all this other stuff, they were sending these people home. So I ended up throwing up. Don't know why while I was in there. So that's like by 5 o'clock I ended up throwing up. The pain was getting too serious, so by 6 o'clock I got epidural, because it was like no choice. Nobody was trying to give me no drugs through the IV, so epidural was my only chance. The pain was so bad that I got poked 3 times, like, because I kept moving. Like, I kept moving. And after I calmed down, we alerted my parents and my sister-in-law. We told everybody, whoever came at the time of me, you know, laboring. And we were cracking jokes, we were dancing. Well, my mom was dancing a little bit. They were talking about, you know, having cigars after the, you know, baby was born, so everybody could, you know, puff on a cigar. I did a little video for my baby personally on my phone, telling my son, like, you know, everything, like, I love him and stuff like that. And I was so teary, because it was gonna be like the last day of me finding, you know, the last day of me having him in there, feeling his kicks, feeling his motions, going through the process. You know, he woke me up. He made me smile even when I was down, because that little kick and everything was, you know, great. And I was just so happy during the labor, like, knowing that my baby's healthy, because I went through so much. Like, finding out I was pregnant was like crazy. I was in denial. I was so sad. I was going through all of this. And then prior to the pregnancy, not even like 2 months in the pregnancy, I started having excessive bleeding. I thought I lost my baby. To this day, no one knows why I really was bleeding, because that was the first time I heard his heartbeat when I rushed myself to the clinic to tell my doctor, like, this can't be happening. Like, I'm just finally accepting this. I'm just finally out of shock. Like, I'm ready for this. I feel like I'm ready. You can't, like, he can't be taken away from me. At the time, I didn't know what he was, the gender, but I'm just saying, like, he can't be taken away from me, because, you know, I was presented with the congratulations, you're pregnant, and now I couldn't get nothing else out of me bringing my baby home, you know? So I was just so happy during labor, because I thought about all the stuff that I went through. Now, the labor itself was, I'm not gonna say it was easy after that epidural, because there were things like my baby heart rate was dropping, my blood pressure went up high, my legs are swollen, my epidural wore off when I really needed it the most, because baby, I started feeling my left legs, like I started moving my left leg, and I started feeling all the contractions over there, you know. So they came back and checked me. I was like 5, and then they gave me Pitocin, and then I think about like 8 or 9, I was feeling the contractions. Like I was letting the nurse know, hey, you know, I want to pressure this button, but I don't want to pressure it if it's too late, you know, because I'm feeling the contraction. When she checked me, I was 8 centimeters. She was like, Mama, you can't press nothing, you know, you too far. So I was like, okay. So from 8 centimeters and up, I felt all that. That was natural. Like, if somebody ever said they had a drug and natural birth at the same time, believe me, it's true. Because in the beginning I was no drugs, in the middle was drugs, in the ending that drug wore it off because it took it too damn soon. By 12 o'clock, I think about 10 or 12 o'clock, I was like, hey, you know, I gotta push, it's really hurting, like I can't even feel the contraction because now I'm shaking, my body just hurts, like it just, I guess that was contraction and stabbing pain I was feeling in my back that was lasting so damn long at the point, because now I wasn't even in my stomach doing that little crunch stuff. So then they checked me and she was like, oh no, you're 9. I was like, okay, that was around like 10. She said, no, I'm not. Around 12 she said I was, no, 12 she said I was 9. No baby, I was 10. You ain't go deep enough. And by 1 o'clock I was like, I can't take this no more, I'm about to push. I started to push my damn self. That's probably why I had him. That's probably why I had so much like other issues afterward. So I started pushing, and then when she checked me at 1, she was like, okay, you're 10 centimeters. They called my doctor. I don't know what the hell she was doing because they called her since 1. This lady didn't show up till 3, and I had this baby at 3:38. So like I said, she took her time. Like, baby, the money was in your hand. Like, I paid her for the labor and delivery. So I guess she felt like even though she was late, she still was gonna come because maybe she thought she was gonna have to give me a refund on that money. But I ain't really care about the money. At that point, I was trying to make a nurse deliver me. Shoot, I was trying to deliver my damn self. I kept pushing when they told me not to. I was trying to get him out. So by 2 o'clock, his heart rate was dropping. My blood pressure was skyrocketing. My heart rate was skyrocketing. They were calling her and it was like 2 o'clock. The lady was like, no, this can't be. Like, you know, they had me on oxygen mask and everything because he couldn't stay anymore. Like, my body wasn't able to keep him in there any longer. So then she finally showed up at 3, I think, something around that time. And during the labor, she was like, push, you know. It was like he had a head full of hair. I remember screaming, saying, it burns. She told me, that's because you're crowning. Okay, I don't really care. It burns. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It burns. And y'all telling me to keep pushing. My sister was the person who counted for me, like the whole 1, 2, 3, 10 thing. You know, I thought I had breaks in between the 10. She didn't give me no breaks. She started the number again after she said 10. It was like, you can't. She was like, Kyle, you gotta go again. 1, 2. And I'm looking at her like this heifer trying to push. I was screaming. I was mad. I was like, that's serious. Like, I felt my body breaking. They were like, push me, you have a contraction. What contraction? I don't feel no contractions no more. I just feel like somebody is ripping me up and trying to get out, like scratching me, you know. And I was like, get him out. At a point in time, I got tired. I couldn't push anymore. I was like, just pull him out, please. I can't do this anymore. Luckily, he was already kind of out, so she like kind of just pulled him out, which was crazy. He was taking his precious time to get out. But Kendall, your head wasn't that big, so why was you taking your time? Like, your head was that big. Baby Kendall, your head wasn't. You weren't that big. Why you just slide about, please, and help mommy out during the process? He didn't do that. I didn't have no tears. She did say I had some burns from like basically the friction in his head and stuff like that, because she also had to put lubricant down there, like a bunch of lubricant down to get him out, because he, like I said, he was stuck. But the baby don't have a big head, so I don't understand how he was stuck, you know. And I had little burns where, because my skin and the inside, basically, you know, you like, you know, you get a scratch. That's what he did. He did the little burn scratch to me. He took whatever he wanted out with him. And I wanted to do the thing where, like, they didn't cut the baby umbilical cord until it stopped pulsing. But when he came out, I said that she said she has to hold him. My doctor said she had to hold him. she wasn't able to give him to me if she didn't cut the umbilical cord. So I was like, cut that sucker then, give me my baby, because I waited this long. You think I want you to hold my baby while the umbilical cord stop pulsing or whatever? No, cut it, give me my baby, please. So she cut it, and then she gave my baby. His dad cut it. Either way, it was cut. They threw him on. They like threw him on top, but they put him on top. And he was so little, so I'm like, I have big boobs. Like, I have big boobs. After my pregnancy, I went from a double. Before my pregnancy, I was a double D. While I was pregnant, I went to a triple D. After the baby, I'm an H. Because I breastfed, like, I think I breastfed him till he was basically 7 months, 7 or 8 months. You know, until the little teeth started coming in. I noticed he was biting, not sucking. I did the bottle pump, and then I did the, you know, formula, and then I did breastfed. Anywho, they put him on me. He was so little, and my boobs like basically devour him. I'm crying. You know, everybody's crying. You know, my mom was crying the whole time, because she was like, when I was trying to push, she was like, don't give up. I need you to push. Don't cry. You made me cry. My sister-in-law was counting for me. You know, everybody was rooting for me and stuff like that. I had my cousin, my fiance. It was just like, it was family. It was love. It was family there. So, Kinder came out. It was the most beautiful thing ever. I was crying. I was kind of scared because I didn't know how to hold him. He was so little. I didn't know what to do with him. And they put him on my chest, and like that was it. Like everything was history. They was like, "Mommy, go to sleep." Like after everything, and they took him to basically stabilize him or whatever, because it was something a little off with his temperature and his heart rate. So they had him for a while. They were trying to tell me to go rest and stuff like that. But Mommy stayed up. I did not sleep. I don't know what sleep was. I just wanted my baby. I slept when I went home. I think like the third day of me being home, my body fell asleep. Like I had a good sleep. Let me tell you, the birth of my baby was terrible. The birth of the placenta is even more terrible, because when you think like that big relief is out of you, somebody's messing with your stomach to get something else out of you and tugging it out too. The stomach part is hurting. Not the same part. I don't care, it really slipped out, but that whole cushion on my stomach, nah, baby. I even told her, I was like, let me push on my own stomach. Okay, so that was my labor and delivery. Kendall was born July 24th, 2017, 3:38. He was 6 pounds 14 ounces, and he was 19 inches long. He was the most littlest special guy I can ever get. I don't think there was replacement. So guys, I just wanted you guys to know my labor and delivery. This is just like a Mother's Day special.